sharing a room with my brother and my sister at the time, so that impressed me a lot. And then when I walked outside, she had this tropical garden, like palm trees everywhere, the beautiful pool, and a waterfall kind of feature coming into this pool. And I stood there gobsmacked. And that's where my love for the tropics started in her home with the pool. And I asked her a really interesting question. I said, Candace, was your dad's dad rich? And she said to me, hell no, Carmen. He was actually really came from a poor family. And he's always telling me to appreciate everything because he had to work really hard for it. And the idea came into my head that if her dad could do it and they did not have money from their family, I could too. So possibility was born on that day. And in that moment, a decision was made in my mind that I was not going to ever struggle financially. I didn't know how the hell I was going to do it, but I was going to switch tracks from this place of struggle that I saw all the adults around me were in, and I was going to move to a place of success. So that's where it all started. And my life, it's amazing. And this is why I'm so passionate about this idea of being one decision away. Because literally that decision in that moment changed my entire life. And every single decision that I've made since then, and there's been numerous, my life is punctuated with these bold decisions in a moment that has created momentum and changed the trajectory. And hence the passion, and my mantra is you can have everything you want in life if you just decide.
I love that, because I feel this, like I feel that to my bone marrow, because I'm always saying a similar thing. I say there's a power in choice. So once you make a choice, you have that power. It all lies within you. You have to choose. I didn't grow up in a wealthy family, right? But I did go away to private school where everything was very grand. So I had a very similar situation, kind of the way you did, Carmen, where I got to see two sort of the duality of life, where it was what it was like to struggle and then what it was like to live in a sense of ease, right? Because you don't have that same financial stress. So, and you have, different luxuries, right? So it gave me the ability to have a choice. And if you don't know any better, you can't do better. But once you do, you can make that decision of saying, you know what, like I am going to create a life for myself that is more luxurious, that I can go live on an island and have these beautiful things when I'm an adult. I'm going to work for that, because you can dream it, right? But something tells me you had to put in some work once you made the choice. Carmen, yeah?
Yeah, well, be careful what you wish for.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, because the seed was planted at that age. Yet I only moved to the island 30 years, 3 decades later. Okay, so it was a hell of a journey to get to this place. And like I said, my journey is punctuated with many poignant moments, watershed moments that led me to this destination and this island. And I'd love to say it was a romantic journey. I decided at 13 and I landed with my ass in the butter, and I landed up under a coconut tree on the island, and here I am and I'm sailing into the sunset. Well, it wasn't exactly like that. So yes, so many difficult situations happen, beautiful successes, catastrophic challenges also that happened. However, I'm so blessed that I made that decision, because I grew up at the age of 13. It changed my trajectory. It changed what I did, who I spoke with, who I connected with, what I read, what I studied, what I chose to do and be. And it kind of carved out a path for me. And how I actually ended up on the island was, in South Africa. What you see on the news is real. It really is like the wild, wild west over there. And safety is a problem. You have to watch your back all the time. And unfortunately, my partner and I had two instances where the first was an armed robbery in our brand new, beautiful, gorgeous home that we'd moved into. And when six armed men enter your home, life changes again in an instant. And then 2 years later, thinking we were in Fort Knox, in a place that no one could come into, we were burgled again. This time, not an armed robbery, but they got to our offices, and we were literally out of business overnight. So with those two incidents, life changes. So this is just another thing which, you know, is so important for anyone watching this or going to watch this, and for us as we discuss this. We make these decisions, but life happens. You know, life happens, and these challenges come up, and we have to reassess and reevaluate what's important to us. And when I was young, up until the age of about 33, I was all about money. I was like, I am going to be rich, and it's about material stuff, and I want whatever I put my heart and soul onto. And I created a lot of wealth for myself. I created incredible financial resources for myself really early, by the age of 30, because I was that determined. And those decisions took me into that direction. But when these incidents happened for me, I stopped and I thought, okay, I've thought all my life that my purpose was to break through this struggle. But is it really? Is that really my purpose on this planet? And with the help of a mentor, he asked me one really important question. He said to me, Carmen, you've had these losses, but what have you actually lost? And it stopped me in my tracks, because I looked at him and I thought, oh my God, I've lost nothing. All this material stuff I can gain again. And that's when I realized the true riches lie within. And my entire focus changed to not making millions, but impacting millions. And that slight, again, that decision in the moment that from now on, I'm going to pour energy into impacting others' lives and be less focused on self and more focused on others, moved me into this new direction. And that is actually what it was about. After that decision, it was about 3 years later, we regained everything on a material level, but what we were gaining on an inner level, on a spiritual level, on a human level was far, far, far greater. And the opportunity came eventually for us to make the decision to leave South Africa and to move on to an island. So it's incredible. You start there, things happen. It's how you respond to it. New decisions need to be made, new action taken. You're still on course. You just get set back a little bit now and again. And life has a beautiful way of showing you what you need, how you need it. And as long as if you're willing to grow, learn, move, don't give up on your dream. Don't give up on your dream, and just keep going. And when we moved here eventually, and I walked into our apartment, which opened up to the spectacular sea view, it was a moment that I thought I'd died and gone to heaven.
I was going to say, did you shed a tear? I think I would have shed some tears.
I certainly did. And it's been a beautiful journey, filled with, like I said, many blessings, many tragic moments. However, I wouldn't change any of it, because it's made me a better coach and a better human being to serve others. So that's where I am today. And with lockdown, again, I come back to what my mentor asked me. Even with lockdown, how much have we lost if, yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, hell, we should be outside. Yes, we want to live and travel and feel free, and the kids should be playing outside. However, what this time is teaching us is the value of who we are as human beings. And I think it's this, if we can move out of this, and when we do have more freedom again to be outside, never to forget that beautiful connection we've been taught now, to bring it with us.
So Carmen, I have a question for you. So we know that when we have a dream, a lot of people have a dream, everybody have a dream, but a lot of people don't know how to achieve those dreams. Mm-hmm. And that's why you are coaching people to help to, to achieve those goals. So what is your approach to somebody comes to you and say, I dream to live like you, or in an island, or in a place with a lot of stuff? So what will be your approach to that person? How will you lead that person to approach what they want?
Lovely question. It's a process that I take them through, and the very, very first part of it, and this is actually how I start every single coaching conversation. It is, Gloria, here, what do you want? Not your partner, not your kids, not your parents, not anybody. What do you want? Can you explain that to me in the most descriptive way, in the most clear way, so that I can get the picture in my head? And here's the most interesting thing I found after 20 years of being in the behavioral sciences and now coaching 15 years. So few people know what they want.
Yes.
So we don't get what we want if we don't know what we want. And we're not taught this. School teaches us all the things we don't really need. And it doesn't teach us about how to actually manifest and truly, truly get what we want. And the secret, yes, it gave us a little piece of the puzzle. Thoughts become things. Well, it's not quite just thought becomes things. There's a lot more to the process than that, but it got us started. So that's the first question. What do you want? And I have to work quite a to get that crystal clear, because it's not really about, this is not about, I want $1 million or $1 million or €1 million. That's not really it, because there's no emotion to that. That's right. Just, that's a means to an end. So what's the end? Okay, we know you might need the money, but what's the end? And I work very closely with my clients to get that so crystal clear that when they say it, they almost feel the emotion bubbling up, and they can feel the picture. And when you can feel it, and that becomes like no longer a wish or a hopeful thinking. It becomes, I see it. And if you can see it, and you can see